Ed from Pinball Mayhem here. This is the final part of the big ball bowler lane extension. It's a final version for now. The only thing left to do is to install or get and install the Formica top. And that's going to be in order. It's going to take some time. This is part 7 plus 1. And I'm calling it that because I skipped one day. And the whole point of this was to show the project started 8 years ago. It took about a year or so for me going back and forth with my dad, and my dad did the woodwork to turn a head into almost a lane extension. Needed some work, but we couldn't do that until we had the feet. When I got it back, I started moving, building a house, so it sat. And the frustrating part is it took 8 days to get to this point, and just sitting down and thinking about it hard. I'm real happy with the way the feet turned out. I'm gonna go ahead and someday refinish the whole game, repaint it, but that's gonna be an entire winter project. Rip it apart and get into it. Just kind of showing a little bit of extra time. Take an hour and a half each night to sit down and dedicate. I'm gonna do this for this time. You might be able to get a lot done, a lot more than you thought you would. And I'm real happy with how the whole thing turned out. Lines up pretty good. Except for a couple things I want to point out. Here, it's a little off. So what I did is, the rubber that we took off, I had it sitting underneath weights and stuff to straighten it mostly out because it had that curve on it to be the ramp. Well, I ran it long and cut off about 2 inch and a half, 2 inches of the original stuff. You can see this is that whatever varnish they put on here, this on the rubber too. And this is transitioning the ball return just fine. Now, when I refinish this, I'm going to do what a lot of other guys do, is they start, and when they refinish it, they'll get all new rubber for the lane, bolted together, because face it, we're not moving these that often. This is a pain in the butt to bolt together. It took me about an hour today to get this bolted together, lined up. I ended up raising it up a 1/4 inch because I ran out of room with my leg levelers to get it right, and I ended up measuring the bottom here on both sides, and I got it like 12.5 inches up. So it may be a little on the tall side, but that's fine. Most of the people using this are taller. Yeah, to put it together just took a lot of time. So what those guys do is they get all new rubber for the game, and they'll start at the top and they'll put it on, and then they'll assemble the whole game, and they'll not cut it at the seams. Makes everything transition better. You can use less nails. I think we can even glue it. I haven't gotten that far, but I am going to eventually order a roll of rubber, so I have it here sitting when I'm ready to restore the wood. I also have new metal over here that's all been re-chromed. So back to the assembly. What I ended up doing is you start at that end and work your way this way. So you level the back box. I had the head lane section still on it. Then I set all the feet. I set it to all about where I wanted yesterday when I fit everything, which is why it took forever to fit it and drill 2 holes and glue 2 things in. I then line it up each section, get it close, but I put the feet, because there's a tongue here that comes forward, and the nuts for both these leg bolts are in that tongue. So you actually put the foot on this lane before you attach this side. So I had the foot on that lane, and I had it kind of jacked up with some boards in the middle. I would set this lane on it with these feet sitting on this other lane, but not the last section. I would get it, you can set it on that tongue, you have about that much room to plug those Jones plugs together, and then position them so when you slide them together, they don't smash the wire, but they actually slide in together. And I loosely put in the cross bolts so they weren't tight, but just the bolts that go from here. I put those in loosely so that they would hold it. Then I went down the line and I got this one. You bolt these legs on right away, because they don't bolt across 2 lane sections. And I went and same thing, fitted this together, loosely fitted, got it all about where I wanted. And then I went down and I leveled the whole thing, starting there, coming here. Once I got it all leveled and double checked, I locked in all the levelers on the feet, and then I tightened these bolts, then the leg bolts. I went this one, and then I did both leg bolts. That way you don't tighten the leg bolts and you're trying to squeeze together and scratch in the paint. I did use a open-ended wrench, and I put a scratch on my new finish here. So tonight I'm going to just throw a little varnish back on that, and you won't be able to see it. Of course, the one leg, the one spot that everyone's going to see, I put a scratch on it. Luckily, it's going to get more, but I can touch that up pretty easily. So I can't bowl. The lane is just about 18 1/4 wide, and the section here is going to be I think 58 3/16. The total length of it is 18 feet 3 inches, and I went from 13 1/2 to 18.3 about. That's going to be a good length for bowling. Going to make it definitely harder for my friends. The section this is from 61, 62. I've seen reports both ways. It's got to be from a few years newer. I see on the side is green and purple, but underneath the purple I saw like a black background with orange stars and like a white pattern. So I'm going to look that up tonight to see what game it came from. I mean, the orange lanes and that is going to be a dead giveaway. And the lane, I'm going to screw that in from the bottom. Originally, these are glued in with those little corner wedges. This was actually bolted in with rubber washers on it. So I'm going to be able to get that made, and I'm just going to screw it in because I think that would be fine. If I need to give some support in the middle, I'll cross brace it. So, does it power up? So the on-off switch is here. That's why I said there's AC going through that tunnel. And the other big question is, does the ball return? So, you thought I was going to throw it down the middle. And it returns. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and maybe in a week or two when I finally get the part, I'll do a follow-up video. But this concludes my daily project videos for this bad boy. It is now in the done stage where I just got to get the board, make it fit, and screw it from the bottom. So thank you very much for following me along with this journey. Subscribe for more. We're going to be posting videos pretty often.